Okay, so we got to set it equal to 0 first. And so how do we make it equal 0? Okay, subtract the 20. And the 20 doesn't subtract from anything, so I'm just going to kind of put it down here. And then what else should we do? Okay. Okay, so this side over here is a 0. And then over here I'm going to combine like terms, and I'm just going to make sure that my x squared term goes first, and then my x term, and then the term with no x's. So 3x squared goes first, and then minus 11x, and then the negative 20. Okay. And then I'm ready to do this part. Is this one of those simple trinomials, or is this one of those slide divide? How do you know? Yeah. Yeah, anytime there's a number in front of the x squared, and that number is not a GCF. So there's a 3 here, and it does not divide out of 11 and 20. Okay, so we're going to do 3 times negative 20 is negative 60. So we're multiplying to negative 60, but adding to negative 11. If you get it, don't shout it out. Let's give people a chance. So we do negative 60 divided by x. And the y equals screen. And then we do second graph to look at the table. So 4, negative 15. Okay, so our parentheses, x plus 4, x minus 15. But we're not done there. What should we do? Divide by 3. Okay. Okay, so this one is where we do the bottoms up. That's a fraction that can't be reduced. So 3x plus 4. And then the other one is x minus 5.
So your x is, or one of them is
Positive 5, okay.
is it,
You can actually see it up here a little bit easier. You're close. Nope, you're negative 4 over 3. Opposite sign, yep. Okay, brains are okay. Do we want to see another factoring one, or was that? With number 7, is it going to be easiest if we subtract the x squared over, or should we move the other stuff to the?
well, I think it's easy if you just read the other stuff because you know they're just going to be positive.
Yeah, so that was a good point. So things are easiest if, listen carefully, it's easiest to factor if you keep the x squared term positive, because those are all the shortcuts that we've learned is based off of a positive x squared. If your x squared is negative, you have to take out a GCF of negative 1, and most students forget to do that. So when we start a problem, we're always just going to move everything over to the x squared side so that that side has the positive. We don't care if the other stuff is negative, but we do care about the squared term. Is there anything else in the factoring problems that feels intimidating? 1 through 8, anything else? Nope. 1 through 8. Okay. Do you guys want to go over a quadratic formula problem, or do you just want to take some time to do the factoring? Just do factoring? Okay. Go ahead and work on that, and then in a little bit we'll pause and we'll do some quadratic formula. Okay. Of the questions 9 through 16, which one should we do? 9. So what do we do first on number 9? Okay, so we will add the 9 and subtract the 6x. So 2x squared plus 9x minus 18. Okay. Okay. So what should I write first? So negative b, so what should I write? Negative 9 plus or minus. Okay, and then we've got b squared, so what should I write? 9 squared, okay. Minus 4 times 2 times negative 18, very good. All over 2 times 2. Okay, now the part that I would do next is I would type in the discriminant, which is this part underneath the square root. I would type in this because if it's one of the problems that has an imaginary answer and you try to type in the whole thing, all you're going to get is an error message and you're not going to know why, okay? So I'm just going to type in the discriminant. So I've got 9 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 18, and when I type in the negative 18, I'm using the minus that's underneath the 3. Okay, so I can type it in like that, or I can type in 9 minus 4 times 2 times negative 18. I can type it in that way. Both of those ways work. So there's my discriminant. Are we comfortable with that step? We can do that part? Okay, so I've got negative 9 plus or minus the square root of 225, over, I wrote 22 instead of 2 times 2, over 4. Okay, now this part you can easily type into the calculator all at once, and so that's what we're going to do. So to get a fraction on the calculator screen, you press the green button, and then you press the y equals button. So alpha y equals, and it gives you different ways that you can write fractions. And we're going to do the first one, numerator over denominator. So alpha y equals. Okay, and if you forget that, just ask and I'll tell you again. All right, so we're going to type a negative 9. For the plus or minus, you just choose whichever one you want to do first. So I'm going to do the plus first. And then we need the square root of 225. So the square root, if you look on the calculator, it's right above, it's in blue, and it's right above the squared button. So since it's in blue, that means we have to use the blue key to get to it. So I'm going to do second x squared to get that square root. Second x squared, and now the square root pops up on my calculator. 225. Over 4. And then the benefit of typing it this way is that if it's a fraction number, then it will spit it out as a fraction. So we get 3/2. And then when we want to type it again, we don't have to actually type it. We can do the up arrow and grab that answer or that problem right there, go up and highlight it. And if you press enter, it copy pastes it for you. And you can go back. I'm hitting the back arrow. I can go back and highlight that plus sign and just switch it to a minus sign and press enter again. So 3/2 and -6. I highlighted on top of it, and then I just pressed the minus sign. Yeah. So x equals 3/2. X equals -6. Yep, you hit the green button, and then the y equals button. Mm-hmm. So alpha y equals. The very top left button that we usually use to graph. Yeah. Okay. All right. Do you guys want to do another one? Yeah, number 11 is weird. Okay. It equals 0. It's in a weird order. There's an x squared, but there's no x value. So are you guys okay with leaving the x squared term negative, or do you want to move it to the other side? What would you guys like to do to start with? Okay. So we're going to...
5x squared plus 0, because you technically still have to have an x term to be able to fill out everything.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what I would do too.
Plus, or you could put 0x, so you don't need to.
Yeah. Okay. So we went ahead and we just started off by moving stuff to the other side so that our x squared term would be positive. You don't have to do it this way, but we chose to do it this way. So we said 5x squared minus 20 is 0. And then we said, okay, it's weird that we have an a term and a c term, but we don't have the middle term. So let's rewrite it. So we've got 5x squared plus 0x minus 20 so that we can have that b value in the middle. Okay. So what should I write first? Negative 0, yep. And -0 and +0 are the same thing. They're just 0. Plus minus the square root of 0 squared minus 4 times... Perfect. Divided by... Perfect. Okay, so the -0 in the front is just going to kind of go away. Okay. So let's just type this in. We have 0 squared minus 4 times 5 times -20. And what do we get?
Oh, 400. Oh,
400, yeah, 400. 400, okay. And then on the bottom we get 10, okay.
You do 0 plus 20.
Yeah, so you can figure out what the square root of 400 is because it's a perfect square. Or if you want to just type this in, you can type it in. How do we type in a fraction?
You did, second alpha?
Yeah, not second alpha, but you're close. Yeah, just green button y equals, alpha y equals to get the fraction up there. And then we can just type in square root 400 divided by 10. Was everyone able to type in the square root? Square root 400 divided by 10. Yep. And the square root of 400 is 20. So we got that. This is going to give us a chance to do another calculator trick, so this is good. So we've got 2. We got one answer is positive 2. Now, we have to do the negative version, and of course, you guys know how to just say, like, oh, the answer is just going to be negative. But if you wanted to put a negative sign in front of this, all you have to do is put the cursor on the spot where you want something in front of that, and then you type the INS right here means insert, and it's in blue, so we're going to use the second function. So we're going to say second insert, and then we can type the little negative, and it will stick it right in front of the cursor. It'll stick it wherever, so you don't have to go back and retype everything. So wherever you have the cursor, it will insert whatever you type in front of the cursor. And that's a neat trick, just so you don't have to retype stuff. So positive 2, negative 2.
Oh, number 13 is like that one. That one you can, I don't know if you need to go over it, but you can simplify and take like the 4 out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. GCF?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then what do you, okay, I got a question though. What do you do with the 4 at the end of quadratic? The 4 that you have to take out?
If you take it out, then it's just gone because you divided it over to the side that had 0. You did 0 divided by 4, and 0 divided by 4 is still 0. So when you're
Stays when you do it with
factoring, because with factoring, you're not actually getting rid of anything. Like, because with factoring, you can do factoring without an equal sign. When you're equaling, when you have an equal sign, you can move stuff to the other side. You can move it back and forth, right? So if you have a 4 and you're dividing it over, and you divide it over to a side with 0, then you're just getting rid of it. Yeah. Yes.
My calculator is messing up. I put the alphabet and it puts an A up on it.
Yeah, that's right. And then you just have to do something after that. So clicking the alpha button alone shouldn't do anything. It's after you click the alpha button you do something. Yeah.